I've been juggling around the idea of coming back to the Division for the past, I don't know, 6 months. People started pressuring me around 1.6. The game's much better, they said. Come back, we have dead bodies on the streets of New York. And I'm like, okay, well that sounds cool. And naturally, the positive side of me is like, yeah, try it, man. You already own the game. What can go wrong, right? It can't hurt. And, you know, you saw its potential. And then the other part of me, the more muscular side of me, is like, yo, you remember every time you got stunned by a shock turret in the DZ? Huh? Every time you got set on fire by incendiary rounds? Let's not forget the dumb cover, bro. So, yeah, I put it off for a while. And I eventually caved in and came back. And I could not be happier. My God, erections all around. This game is actually in an incredible place. This is where I always wanted to see it go. The Dark Zone has been revamped, PvP revamped, actual PvP being thrown into the mix now. So many things. I came back to Christmas morning for this game. Like, that's exactly what it feels like. So many things have changed in this year and a half that I've been gone, and it just feels like an incredible experience. So, let's talk about what's new. Is this game better, and what is better about this game? Not Fei Lao's leg. That's one thing. But, truthfully, the biggest part for me is the PvP. In 1.8, they overhauled it. Basically, we have Rogue 2.0. The new Rogue system is basically an opt-in sort of situation where you have to voluntarily go Rogue. So it's about a 2-second moment, a little wheel appears over your head. When it's complete, you are now officially Rogue, as well as anyone else that may be in your team, your party. And this is great for a handful of reasons. Back when I played, anybody could go Rogue just by shooting someone. So there was a lot of griefing involved. So somebody could just cross your line of fire and force you Rogue and then kill you. Or somebody would just tap you with a bullet or two before going into a checkpoint and, what's up, man? You're in combat, can't go in now. Lots of trolling was involved, and who can forget the classic walking behind a buddy that's actually in my squad and is Rogue, but you can't shoot him because I'm in between you and him sandwich. And that was really obnoxious too, and it was just crazy. So it was a lot of running during Manhunt, a lot of hiding and camping, and that's another thing they've done, is they have switched up the way Manhunt works. When you do achieve Manhunt, there are also grades. You can go up to rank 5 Manhunt by killing, what is that, like 9, 10 people total, something like that. I'm not a math expert, don't judge. And then you have to cash it in and earn some caches. So that's pretty cool. So there's a set designated area on the map that is basically an alarm for the whole server. When that little Manhunt icon shows, the entire server can fast travel and try to get there and stop you before turning it in. So it really does enhance the PvP experience. There's less trolling, it's actual about engaging, and again about actually flagging as Rogue. Because you have a couple seconds, everybody else can kind of get set up for Rogue. It's no longer just killing one guy, and then it's a 3v4 in a team fight, and it's lopsided. When somebody starts flagging Rogue, you have a couple seconds to register in your mind, oh shit, he's going Rogue. Let's set up, let's get a grenade out, let's find cover. And it's a bit more of a fair fight too, and that is one thing I truly appreciate. With the introduction of 1.8, we also were given a brand new game type called Resistance, and this is actually something that was a very healthy decision for the game, because though there are tons of ways to play this game for PvE, we're talking underground, survival, open world, you got PvPvE with the Dark Zone, there are tons of things to do, incursions, resets, they have you occupied. But what they didn't have is something worth grinding for those that are at endgame, that have their optimized and classified sets complete with their exotics and dream rolls. What do? Underground is no longer satisfactory. You don't really have to push yourself. There's no room for failure or mistakes or losing. Resistance changes that. It is all about progression, and you will eventually lose. It's a horde game type. It's basically like Call of Duty Zombies. You open doors, you try to fortify areas with turrets, healing, so on and so forth. They have randomized rounds that do different things, your EMP rounds, your Shade Tech rounds going offline. You have contamination rounds. There's a lot riding on your success. You're going to have the right build, the right communication, the right synergy with your team if you want to push these waves. Eventually you will die, but how far can you go? And I like that there is an end game where pushing is required, and this is a very healthy thing. Very generous with its loot as well. Boss rounds every 5 rounds. Really solid stuff coming from this, and I was really happy with this because I do underground, I do survival, but it's not really fun for me. I don't feel like I'm pushing or struggling. The back end of a good Resistance map really does put a little bit of pressure on you, and that's rewarding to me. So that's a great thing. So ultimately, you just have a buffet of options. You have so many ways to play PvE. You have the Dark Zone. You have actual PvP now. You can do 4v4 and I believe even 8v8, where it is just raw PvP. So there's just so much to do, and that's very healthy for an RPG. You can basically log on every day of the week and do something entirely different. I can do 2 hours of survival, and 2 hours of underground, 2 hours of DZ, so on and so forth. And that is a very, very strong support for this game. Another thing worth mentioning, and I actually feel like I'm against this overall, and people are going to be like, what? There's a new thing introduced in 1.8 called the Optimization Station. And it basically takes your gear, your classified gear pieces, your exotics, whatever you're running, and you can turn it into a perfect god roll. I literally mean perfect god roll. Every stat on that item can be put to max. Crit hit chance, crit hit damage, armor, so on and so forth. Every stat can be set to perfect. And though some people really like this idea, I feel like it is not healthy for an RPG at its core. What really makes the grind worth it is always having room to do better, having better gear, getting a better roll. As it currently stands, I have a handful of my gear sets classified, 100% fully optimized. They cannot get any better than they currently are. So anytime I get another piece of Striker classified, I know it's trash. And that's currently the same issue that Destiny 2 is dying from. It's just nowhere to go. You've hit that ceiling, and what the Optimization Station really delivers in this game is a ceiling, and that is not something they should do. Now, if it perfectly maxed out one on your regular gear sets or exotics and maybe 2 stats you can roll perfectly, at least there's going to be room. It extends that. As of right now, any piece of loot I get on the ground, it doesn't matter to me. And it's because of the Optimization Station. So I feel like they need to rework this. They need to make it so that you can perfectly max out 1, maybe 2 rolls on an item, but not 100%. If you get a perfect roll in a game like this, or a game like Diablo with a similar loot system, what is there to do? What is there to aim for? Any item I do receive in the Dark Zone means nothing to me. And that is not healthy for your game overall. So this is the one thing that they added in, which I thought was a cool concept, and if they tweaked it, it could be very good for the game. But ultimately, I think in the long run, this is actually going to hurt the game, and it's going to scare away the more dedicated players that are just not feeling like they're being rewarded anymore for a game that up to this point was all about reward and in-game and grinding and loot and upgrades. So that is my opinion. So it's cool that it's there, but I'm just really afraid of what it could do damage-wise for the long-term life of the game. So everything considered, I think 1.8 was amazing. I think the game is in a very healthy place. I came back after a year with so many new activities to do. If you haven't picked up the game, you're looking for something, you've been disappointed with Destiny 2, you just need something new, this game is definitely worth looking into. Do your research, check it out, swing by a live stream, twitch.tv/TheBoneStarForHire. I stream every day. So I love you guys. Really, really, really good things coming to this game. I'm excited for its future. It's finally caught up to balance. Things are looking good. I'm loving the PvP. The PvE is definitely worth doing. I'm really happy with where this game ended up, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Take care.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lose shit. I don't give a crap. Do it, you bitch. You won't. You won't. Come on. Yeah, just do it. Oh, I embrace the pain. I embrace the pain.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where you going? Oh, where you going?